Good afternoon, Attorney Davis.
Good afternoon, my brother. How you doing?
Good, good. So, listen, this is a day we've been waiting for since the last press conference, and you were at the meeting. You heard a lot. Your summation on what happened today?
The summation is that Shali Tilson died of neglect, that they documented what appeared to be a mental health crisis that he was going through, that he was so dehydrated, he was so severely dehydrated that blood clots formed in his lungs, that he was so severely dehydrated that his lips were chapped to the point of bleeding, that he was physically, visibly ill. So we know that the medical evidence indicates that this severe dehydration is what essentially led to his death. And the only way something like that happens is if your life doesn't matter. If someone is not concerned enough to ensure that you are receiving medical attention, mental health, as well as making sure that you receive the nourishment that you need. To die in this manner had to be excruciatingly painful, and it's sad that a 22-year-old would pass under these circumstances. Additionally, we have now interviewed individuals who said that he was also physically assaulted in some way by detention officers. While that may not have been the cause of his death, we're concerned that these encounters with the detention officers may have led to their willingness to allow him to suffer in the manner in which he did, in a isolated cell with no one there, as he, sat in a corner and perished. So these were very troubling findings, and I think anyone who's ever been to jail, anyone who has any loved one that has any mental health challenges at any point, we know that those can be very manageable and managed. It didn't happen here, and that's scary.
We're in 2018, and the sheriff department is in the business of maintaining and detaining people that have been accused of crimes. How does someone even die on these circumstances unless they were tortured?
The sheriff is going to have to address how someone could die of dehydration in his jail. It's that simple. Somebody has to be held responsible for Shali Tilson's death. This doesn't happen by accident. Someone did not do their job. They did not obtain medical attention. They did not ensure that he had the necessary nourishment. I mean, someone failed. If you have someone in a facility and in a cell because you're concerned about their mental health status, then clearly you would have solicited expertise, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, to try to determine if more was needed. He received no medication, no medication while he was incarcerated. And all of these things are going to have to be addressed. But we think that for it to get to this point, someone should be held responsible for this. And it's ultimately the sheriff is going to have to figure out who that is that failed to do their duty. Yeah, our concern is based on the police report, we're concerned that he should have never been taken to jail. See, one of the issues that we have to decide as a community and as a society is that how we're going to handle young people and people in general with mental health issues, but in particular black people with mental health issues. Are they going to be looked as if they are in fact in need of medical support, or are they going to just be criminalized? And here was an opportunity, based on the police report, that they observed Shali not functioning in a way that they thought was average or normal. And so when that happens, you don't take them to jail. You take them to get the treatment that they needed. If he would have had a busted knee, if he would have had something that was physically evident that he was having an ailment, they should have transported him to a hospital. It's the same thing as it relates to mental health. If it appears that he was having a mental health crisis and they documented it in the police report, they had a duty and responsibility not to just take him off and warehouse and put him in a jail, but instead to get him the mental health treatment that he needed. To contact his family and say, hey, we think your loved one is going through a mental health crisis. We tracked him back to this address to tell, can you tell us anything? Can you help us? What do you working together as a community? But unfortunately, it's too easy to just take them to jail, and that goes directly back to the reality is that there's a direct correlation between black people and criminality in the minds of most, and it's not being treated, the same way. And that's what we're dealing with. That's just the reality of it. And folks may not like me saying that, but it's the reality.
And the other part of that is him having such a high bond for really a disorderly conduct.
Yeah, again, that's another, you charges being levied when someone is going through a mental health crisis. This again is about wealth-based detention. The people that have the financial resources and wherewithal, they get them out, and they're able to get out. They could be charged with the very same crime, very same criminal history, but one person can afford to get out on a misdemeanor, and then another person can't. And that shouldn't be the case. And that's what one of our great challenges are. So that's what we're dealing with.
Thank you.